At least you've had time to reflect on the game against Norwich on Saturday. What sort of positives do you take away from the performance?
I take the performance as a positive. You know, I said to the lads after the game, I felt for them. I thought you could see, I think in the last chance where I think 3 or 4 of them faltered their feet in the game, I thought we put a hell of a lot of effort into the match. I think we played well for large spells of the game. I think we created some good opportunities, and I thought it was a really good footballing game. You know, I thought Norwich probably had the better moments in the first half, and then I thought we certainly had the better moments in the second half. So if you look at some of the Norwich games, for instance, I watched Norwich v Millwall. You know, that was completely one-way traffic the whole game, and I thought our game was very, very even against Norwich. I think the difference at the moment in the Norwich game and the Millwall game is maybe just not converting some of the opportunities that have come our way.
As you get used to this squad, have you found yourself kind of adapting your approach to try and get everybody up to speed to how you want to work?
I think you always adapt your approach to your players. So we adapt to our style to try and suit the players as best we can to get the best qualities out. And I think that we're making really good inroads into that at the start of the season. I think we've then lost sort of 4 important players for that type of way of playing for us, which means we've had to try and sort of tinker and find a way that suits maybe some of the newer lads that are coming in to take their place, which has been difficult because when you're placing new lads with even newer lads, and we're still, we're 6 games into the season and we've got lads coming on Saturday for the first minutes and their first starts, while trying to pick up vital points away from home at a difficult venue, then yeah, that's certainly challenging.
You're hitting a run of games back to back now. Is that an aspect of the Championship that you enjoy?
I enjoy it. I think that it's certainly new for a lot of the players that have came from abroad, you know, because I think the one thing about the Championship in comparison to probably any other league in the world is the relentless nature of it in terms of churning games out, how different the games are from game to game, doing 3 in a week, getting very little recovery and expecting to hit those sort of top levels in terms of performance, in terms of output, physically and mentally. I think it's a big challenge for any player. If you can put a few back-to-back wins together, I think it changes the perspective on everything. You know, and I think that Huddersfield are probably a good example of that in the last 2 games. You know, I think they lost to Norwich 4-0 and then went back-to-back and won 2 games in the bounce. And I think that's what the Championship can do for you. You know, and I think that our performances have certainly merited more points. And we're hoping that in this next little batch of games we can put some wins together.
You mentioned Huddersfield there. They picked up over the last couple of games. What sort of game do you expect on Wednesday?
A really difficult one. You know, I think obviously we know the news of the fact that obviously the manager's leaving, so I think that adds a little bit of extra for their perspective, more so than ours. But yeah, we just need to focus on the task at hand for us and make sure that our sole focus is to try and win the game and get the points, rather than getting sort of carried away with what it is and what it isn't for other people. Automatically you would look at it and think that the players might find that extra 5-10%, which shouldn't really ever be the case, but in football it naturally is. So I think from our perspective, I think we need to make sure we're extremely ready for the game.
And what will be your message to your players before you go out for the game?
Just have confidence and belief in your performances, and when you do get opportunities, try and hit the target, be clinical. Don't second guess yourself, don't have any hesitation, and keep believing in what you're doing.